Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Love and Screens, keeping your marriage close in the digital age. I'm Suli from Focus on the Family Malaysia, and we are so glad you're here. Let's start off with some honest sharings. We'd like to hear from you. Have you ever felt ignored because your spouse was on their phone? If yes, please type me in the comments. And how about the reverse? Are you the one doing the ignoring? If yes, type guilty in the comments. All right, I'll give you a few seconds to type that in. You might feel vulnerable to type that out in public. That's okay. I'll share a little bit about myself. For me, as a working mom of four young kids, I would have to type in guilty as well. There have been many times I've ignored my husband and my four kids because of urgent messages, or I've hidden in the bathroom to finish up an episode of my favorite TV show. Well, what can I say? I have had four kids in just over 5 years. So sometimes I just need a break. All right. So thank you. Some of you have responded. Yes, guilty. Some, yeah, mostly guilty, huh? Nobody says me. Wow, that's so kind of you guys. Kind to your spouse, huh? All right. You can keep on typing in the comments if you have ignored your spouse or you are guilty your spouse has ignored you. All right. So you can type me or guilty. All right. So it seems like more people have felt ignored, have done the ignoring. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for being so honest. All right. But today isn't about blaming technology or about shaming any habits because the truth is technology isn't going away anytime soon. The Star paper reports that Malaysians spend a whopping 9 hours a day online. Research also shows that 71% of people spend more time on their phone than with their partner, and only 18% of homes have a no phone zone. All right, so if technology is here to stay, the question becomes what kind of habits do we want to build in the midst of a digitally distracted world? I think most of us know that marriages often don't drift apart because of one dramatic crisis, but through small daily habits such as divided attention, postponed conversations, and missed opportunities. So tonight we are here to build awareness and share practical ways to staying emotionally close in a digital world. And we have invited special speakers to share both their professional insights and real life experiences with us. All right, first up, let me introduce Dr. Greg Smalley, joining us all the way from Colorado Springs, USA. Dr. Greg is the Vice President of Marriage at Focus on the Family US. He's a clinical psychologist and the author of over 20 books on marriage and relationships. He and his wife, Erin, have been married since 1992 and they enjoy taking hikes together. They have four children and they've recently become proud grandparents to a little one called Josiah. So, Dr. Greg, we're so honored that you are sacrificing your beauty sleep to be here with us tonight. I believe it's 5:30 in the morning for you, right?
It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Please give us an energetic wave. Yeah. We'll wake you up, don't worry. We're also very delighted to welcome our local celebrities, Bernard and JoLin Hiew. Bernard is the founder and CEO of Musang King Group, a creative consultancy agency, and he wears multiple hats as a radio announcer, an actor, a trilingual MC. And Jolene, his wife, works as a pharmacist at a local hospital, and she's a content creator in her own right. They've been married for 14 years and they enjoy creating engaging social media content with their children that reflects their fun and authentic family life. But Jolene, so glad you're here with us tonight. Yeah, give us a
Hi.
wave or some hearts. Yep. Okay. All right. Before we go further, a quick note that we will be having a Q&A session later. So throughout the night, feel free to submit any questions you may have for our speakers in the comments, and our team will collate them and try our best to answer them during the Q&A. All right. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into our conversation. Dr. Greg, I'd love to start with you. Screens are now part of almost every aspect of life, whether it's work, entertainment, social connection, and even relaxation. And research shows that 54% of people would rather spend time on their phone than with their partner. So, from your experience counseling couples, Dr. Greg, how are screen habits influencing emotional connection between spouses today, both positively and negatively?
Yeah. It's easy to try to villainize our screens be, and not understand that one, that it can be a very positive thing. I mean,
Mm,
our cell phone, for example, that can create little micro connections throughout the day. So just before we started, I just quickly texted my wife, "Good morning, didn't get to see you. I love you. Have a great day." So
mm-hmm,
it's a way that we can create these little micro connections throughout the day and kind of feel that we're still connected. You know,
yep,
I have friends that play word games together. We can listen to podcasts. We can look at it, do entertainment together. So I mean,
mm-hmm,
there's great things. So it's not all bad. The problem, though, that I've seen is that our screens can create little micro disconnections. So when I'm focused on my screen, when I'm focused on my phone, well, Erin, my wife might feel ignored.
mm-hmm,
It sends a message that this is more important than you in this moment. And as she feels ignored, we ultimately can start feeling like we're living parallel lives
mm-hmm,
and we start to drift. Loneliness sets in. When we start to feel lonely, hearts begin to shut down to each other.
mm-hmm,
And like you said, Tuli, in the beginning, marriages don't die all at once. They die in
mm-hmm,
pieces. And that's the problem that we see with screens is that it's what I'm communicating is that I'm choosing this over you. And
yep,
I start to miss really those key moments. Like just last night, my wife and I were watching a movie together.
mm-hmm,
So right at the critical time of the movie to where this crazy plot twist happens, she's on her phone. She was scrolling, doing shopping. I didn't even notice that. I'm really into the movie. She's online shopping and I'm like, "Oh my goodness, can you believe this happened?" And she's like, What happened?"
yep,
So I had to pause the movie. I had to explain what's going on.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I'm telling you, that is often what it can feel like within a marriage when I'm so focused
yep,
on the screen, I end up missing these subtle little plot twists within our marriage or within my wife. When
mm-hmm,
marriage requires presence, I need to be noticing, paying attention to those little subtle things. Maybe Aaron's having a bad day
mm-hmm.
and I'm so focused on this screen that maybe I miss that.
That's so true. Mm-hmm,
So relationally, it can have all those missed opportunities and those missed moments. The other thing though, Suli, that I see that's going on is the individual that we're our tolerance for stillness and boredom
mm-hmm,
it's gone so low. We don't have tolerance just to sit there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Silence is an important part of just self-awareness.
True.
When I have moments to where I don't have all this distraction, I
Mm-hmm,
might notice maybe that I am having a hard day, that I'm feeling depressed.
mm-hmm,
And we are building up this low tolerance for just being able to sit there and be
mm-hmm.
bored. We always have to have something going on. And
Yes.
so those are some of the things that really stand out to me.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, my husband just had the same thing that he said to me about last night. You know, me on my phone while we're watching a movie. It's just so common. So that's a really helpful perspective. It can be used for a good and also, yeah, in a
Yeah.
negative way. So Bernard and Jolene, since both of you are quite active in the digital space. How does your online presence and your content creation lifestyle support your relationship and your shared goals in your marriage?
Oh, hi everybody. So for me myself, I was used to be in traditional media, right? So in part of screen, in part of camera was part of my work. So even when we're dating, I think we're accustomed to that already. So we look at media as an for me it's work, right? But I think right now when we are creating content together, we are not just only creating content using the phones as a work only, but it's also we look at it as something that reflects our values. Yeah, and
Mm,
connection as a family community, as a family content. So we would include our children into it. Maybe it's a dance, or if it's a live thing that we experience. So in some way, we're practicing them how to respond towards cameras and all that.
mhm,
Or even our parenting journey, we're quite transparent about it and what we believe in about family. So for us, when we create content together, it forces us to communicate.
mm.
So for us,
Right.
it's like a task. It's like, okay, let's go for a picnic, or like, or let's go for a library. But for us, it's, hey, let's create a content on
Mm,
yeah. So we talk about what we stand for, the message that we send, and what kind of legacy we want to build. But more importantly, also is because we want to create memories that last. So, like for example, if we go for a holiday right now, when I was young, when we go for holiday, if we go to holiday, it's using cameras. We shoot the camera and then it's developed into a 3 hour or
so,
4 hour picture, right? We put it in an
mhm,
album, right? But
mhm,
right now, albums are working on our phones already, which we upload it into Instagram, Facebook, and all that, like all the social media that you're watching right now. So it's just a different aspect of it, even if we create videos right now. So we can create videos much more efficiently by just using a phone. And it's just a way of, I think at the end of the day, it's just challenge of how you balance it,
mhm, mhm,
whether you're reading a book, whether I think even you, if you're addicted to comic books, that can also be a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? It's
mhm, for
not
sure.
just the screen only.
For
Then
sure.
again, because screen is so prevalent, and also like how we monitor, how we role model that usage of time, we will be also role model by our children when they grow up, right? So
Mhm,
especially like for us, we didn't grow up having screens, right? Screen was came to me when I was in uni, like TV perhaps, right? But for our children
mhm,
right now, I was just having this. We were in a hospital the other day. My son, I remember the first time my son went to hospital, and because he had to stay overnight in the hospital, and there was this TV, there was a TV on the
in the
screen,
room. Mhm,
and he was telling us that, hey, Daddy, I'm not interested in watching. Can we skip the video?
mm.
Can't skip the video because it's national TV, so you have to wait.
Yeah, you have to watch the ad.
So yeah, it's just different, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm,
having said that, the challenge is balance. So when we do it intentionally, our online life becomes our extension of our real life. So it's really
mm,
not
mm, mm.
it. Yeah. So together, we create memories together, just like taking photo, and testimony and all that. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Thanks. Jolene, you have anything to add to that?
No, all good.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Well, it's encouraging to hear how technology can also help strengthen relationships. Yeah, but I think we also know that technology can quietly create distance. Yeah, for instance, the Star reported that 60% of families feel emotionally distant due to excessive gadget use, right?
Mm.
So, Dr. Greg, over back to you. What are some subtle ways that screen habits can begin to affect connection without couples even noticing it?
Yeah, I think some of the signs that you would want to look for is when you start to just feel disconnected. You,
Mm.
you you feel like you're married roommates. You're
Mm,
great parents. You're great co-workers. You run a good family together, but there's the connection, the emotional connection, especially, just feels like it's missing. I'll never forget when my wife, probably 10 years into our marriage, I had written my very first marriage book. It was called The Marriage You've Always Dreamed of.
mm-hmm,
And right as that was coming out, she came to me, big tears. And she said, Greg, I love you. I'm committed to you for life, but I feel so disconnected. I feel like we're nothing more than married roommates.
Mm.
mm,
She was right. We loved each other, but we just got busy working, raising kids, hobbies and friends and whatever activities.
mm-hmm,
And I think the illusion for so many couples is that we can put our marriage on autopilot, on cruise control, kind of send it down the road, and it'll be okay. And it just that's just not true. It requires investment. So that became a real pivotal moment for us.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to do about it? So for us, we felt the disconnect. We didn't feel the connection that we longed for when all of us stood up at the altar and said, you know, I commit my life to you,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to feel that closeness. I think the other big one is when we slowly begin to experience all of our conversations feel like all we talk about are logistics. Who's the kids? Who's taking the kids to this sporting activity? Who's going to stop at the grocery store? Oh, don't forget we got to pay this bill. In all of our conversation becomes just
Information.
how do we run life?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
quite frankly, it becomes very boring.
True.
And if that's all we ever talk about, it just we start to avoid then those conversations because that we don't want to feel like we live in this perpetual business meeting. And so it's either we're on, you know, we're on our screen, or we're talking about logistics, and we start to really miss kind of we miss each other that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are a few of the things that really stand out. You stop feeling like we're not laughing. We're not the playfulness, just the you know, when there's just time just to crack jokes and talk about the day and what was fun or weird or strange about it.
Mm-hmm,
You know, the stuff that goes away. So I think those are some of the things that really stand out to me.
Yep. And those connections can't really happen if we are always on our screens. Yeah, but I think it also applies to not just digital habits, but also like hobbies can kind of take us away from, you know, our family as well, and we kind of miss that connection. So we'll talk about emotional presence later on. Yeah, but thanks, Dr. Greg. JoLin, does any of that resonate with your experience? Has there been seasons where Bernard's digital engagement became like really intense, especially during campaigns, launches? How did these intense moments affect your time and emotionally availability with each other?
Yeah, JoLin. Please share.
You like putting your wife on spot, huh?
Yeah, I think as introduced by Suli at the beginning of our session, Bernard has been in the entertainment and also the media industry for a very long time. At least I think it's been more than 15 years 17 years even. Yeah, so we've been also together that long. So I think over the years, I've learned that I think through the years that how we cope with when he's busy or when he's very occupied with his work, and his work is very much revolves around social media or even the phone itself. Okay, so what actually helps us is communication and setting the right expectation. Yeah, so for us, when he's busy, he would tell me early that okay, this is a very busy season for me. You'll be expecting that I will be not emotionally present or be present around our family. So come to learn. I mean, I've come to learn to understand and to accept that okay, it's his time and he needs this time for work. And with that, we kind of like, I mean, this kind of work for us, basically setting the right expectation. So during the early years, definitely there were resentments, there were frustrations when I actually expect him to be there and he's unable to be there. Yeah. So when expectations are not met, and that's where resentment actually builds. So over the years, we've learned to communicate better. Yeah, and basically to talk about it early and to set it early. Yeah.
So like some of the times that some of the things that I have to do, like let's say if I have to be in a movie shoot, right, for 2 weeks or even like a month, so I'll be really intense in shoots. So I leave early in the morning, I come back home late at night, but the next morning I'm already out of the office or something. We don't even speak to each other for all that, right? So, but then there were times that we are more, I'm more relaxed. So right now, even we have to find time to date, especially now we have two children already, right? One 11 and one 8. So every time when we are alone, we are available, or like when we're finished work, is with the children. But how do we make that time for all of us? So definitely the amount of time that we have for each other, as opposed to when we were dating, is definitely more limited, right? Because there's commitments, there's also children tuition, the children have to go this and go that. So what we now do is that we take leaves to go on dates.
Yep.
Yeah. So there are some things that we can do for ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So it's really not quantity anymore. It's more of the quality and the effort and the time that we want to be intentional about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for the time being away, and we always make sure that when we come back together, we'll take effort and we'll take time to even reconnect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like some of the things that I have to make is I have to make a decision on. I try not to take any of my business meetings on my weekends. I don't take any jobs on weekends, so that weekend is sacred for family and also for our religion and all that. You know what I'm saying? The church and all that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, thanks for sharing that so honestly. I think many couples here will relate to busy seasons like that. I mean, we may not be in the same kind of entertainment industry, but we all go through busy seasons and that require us to perhaps be a little bit absent, I guess. Yeah, so building on that, Dr. Greg, which everyday moments are most important for connection in marriages, but easily disrupted by screens?
Yeah. I think one of the most helpful things that my wife and I have started to do is to recognize screens are not going away. We have about 1,400 minutes in every day, but not all of those minutes are what we would call sacred moments. A sacred moment is an opportunity that has a high connection potential. Like when Aaron and I are sitting at the dinner table, together, that has a high connection potential. That's a sacred moment. And so instead of trying to go, hey, how do we eliminate, screen time? How do we set boundaries and reduce all that? I think the better way to look at this is to start noticing throughout the day what are some of those sacred moments that have high, quick little connection potential, and let's guard and protect those things. For example, like when we're getting ready to leave in the morning, there's a little moment there. How we say goodbye can make such a big difference for us throughout the day. I remember as a young husband talking to a guy who had been married over 50 years. And I asked him, well, yeah, what's your secret? Give me a tip. And he says, I never let my wife leave our home without complimenting her, because I don't want the first compliment that she hears to come from another man. In what I've realized is that just taking a quick little opportunity as we're transitioning out of the home to go up to her, to actually put a kiss on her lips, not just, goodbye, but actually to kiss her and to compliment her. That's a little micro connection. That's a little sacred moment. And we'll leave. How we come back, how we greet each other, after we've both been out of the house, is another really important moment. How we greet each other when we come home in the evening, that sets the tone for the rest of our night together. If we recognize that little 20-second moment is sacred, let's take advantage of it. We might be on a screen, something might be going on, but we want to pause for just a moment and welcome each other back into the home. At the end of the day, not everybody goes to bed at the same time. I get it. Some people work night shifts. I get all that. But for Aaron and I, at the end of the day, that is a sacred moment. So either we're going to choose to both of us be, I'm looking at sports, news or whatever. She's scrolling social media. Either we recognize that there's a sacred moment, a connection potential, and we're just going to quickly take advantage of that. So instead of trying to go, how do we eliminate screen time? Let's just instead look at it for what are these sacred moments within our relationship. We have to haul our kids everywhere. So there are times that we call it windshield time, to we're in the car together. Again, high connection value. Instead of both of us, or not both of us, so whoever's driving shouldn't be on their screen. But like if I'm driving, Aaron's sitting next to me, if she's scrolling, we're missing that opportunity just to ask each other, how you really doing? How you feeling? What's going on? And so that is what we've been doing differently, is we're evaluating. Bernard, I like how you said that, is you've got to evaluate your life and recognize that there are these little moments that are worth protecting. That if we can get used to saying, man, I'm not letting you leave our home without saying goodbye. I'm not going to be so distracted when you come home that I'm not going to greet you. And certainly not going to be scrolling right before bed, because I would say that right before bed is probably one of the best opportunities just to snuggle, to be intimate, just to that's the feeling your spouse is going to hold all night long. So either we ignore each other, or they feel ignored, or we spend a little bit of time just connecting. So you're right, there are sacred moments that are worth protecting.
Thanks, Dr. Greg. I like that, sacred moments. And I think bedtime especially, we're so used to just ending our night scrolling on our phone, but really when we connect with our spouse, it makes a huge difference. So it really strengthens our connection. So thank you so much. I will need to move on to our next segment. All right, FB audience, if you've just joined us, welcome. A gentle reminder to send in your questions for our speakers, and just type it in the comments, and we'll try our best to answer them during the Q&A. All right, let's pause for a moment to self-reflect for the FB audience and also for the speakers. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much do you think screens affect the connection in your relationship? With 1 being not much, to 5 being quite a lot. So just put it in the chat. I will look at. I rated myself 3.5, which I thought was pretty high. But I asked my husband today when I was at work, and he said 4. So I think we have much room for improvement, especially on my end, perhaps. So is any answers? 4.8. Some of them.
4.8.
Okay, 5. Any more answers? You just put a number there, just to be honest. And I think sometimes, like my husband and I, our perception is quite different, right? For me, maybe I feel like it's okay. For him, maybe it hurts him even more. So I think we always should err on the side of the one that needs the more attention, and we should to.
I was just thinking about this, that it is, and then the first question we talk about, it's about really talking about your expectation. Because as husband and wife, if I cannot talk about my expectation to my other half, I think there's something wrong, number one. So there's no right and past rule about whether it should be 3 or should be 2 or should be 1 or should be 5. I think it's really about, if your needs is to be, it's as such, I need, can I have 5 minutes of your time? I think being able to air it out and just say it to your partner, I think it's important. I think it's also maybe sometimes our Asian culture, we don't want to say what we really mean. You know how I'm not sure if Dr. Greg knows this, but in Asia, we have this mentality of, we are, there's this pride, or there's this Asian pride. We don't want to show that we don't want to show our vulnerability. But I felt that as husband and wives, we're here. We want to recognize each other, that we're here to support each other. That it's okay to be vulnerable, and because we're supposed to help partner each other in that area as well.
Yep. Thanks. Yeah, thank you, Bernard. I see many fours, some 4.9. From 5. Yeah, yeah, mostly 3 and above. All right. I think nobody's down at 2. I think 3 is pretty good to me. All right. So thanks so much for your engagement there. I think research shows that frequent digital interruptions during couple time are linked to lower relationship satisfaction and also higher conflicts. So setting healthy boundaries around device use becomes very necessary to help protect closeness and reduce unnecessary stress. So let's talk about in our next segment boundaries, how to set those boundaries without hurting in the relationship. So, Dr. Greg, I think the audience can probably relate to this. For those couples who rely a lot on technology for work or even for unwinding, right? We like watching our Korean dramas. What boundaries help to maintain that closeness while still respecting personal space and also career demands?
It's a great question. And I think to really answer that, we first want to talk about why is a boundary important. A boundary isn't about restricting, controlling, eliminating. When we look at a boundary as a restriction that I'm feeling controlled, that I'm going to resist that. And so if we recognize that a boundary is put in place inside of a relationship to help keep hearts open to each other. See, you think about the vulnerability that's required within marriage or within any deep relationship, that we all long to feel deeply seen, to be known. In that requires vulnerability for me to really open up and to show Aaron the real me. Bernard, it's like you were talking about, like that's not only true around Asian men or I mean, here in the US, I mean, we're all afraid of emotions. We're afraid of being seen. The fear is if you really see me, what are you going to do with that? If you could see the mistakes and the poor choices in the scars in all that stuff, what are you going to do with that? So marriage uniquely is vulnerable. If we're going to have intimacy, if we're going to have connection, it requires people to feel safe with each other. That's why a boundary inside of a marriage is so important, is it helps people feel safe and secure. And when we feel safe and secure, we're more willing to be known and seen and to open up. And so when it comes to screen time, that's why boundaries matter. It's not to limit. It's to say that we want to protect these sacred moments that are available to us, so that we can be known and we can connect and we can laugh and play. I mean, that's why we go out on dates. It's not just about getting away from the kids. And Suli, I like how you said that you've had 4 in 5 years, and that almost made me throw up a little bit. That's amazing. And I can only imagine, again, the stress and the pressure and all of that. And so that's why we set a boundary. It's never to restrict. It's always about to protect hearts, to make safe and secure. And so that's why I would go back. The boundary then around screen time is just purely as a couple having that, like you guys were talking about, having the conversation about expectations, but specifically around, let's identify 4 or 5 of these, sacred moments inside of our marriage. What's us? What those look like for me and Aaron are probably very different for you guys, because it all depends on the season. I mean, our youngest is 18. She's doing her own thing. And so in this season, our sacred moments, are very, very different. But for each couple to say, let's pick 3. Let's pick, right before bed. Let's pick, when we get to sit down and eat together. Let's pick how we're going to say goodbye to each other, or how we're going to greet each other when we come home.
Yeah.
And what do we want that to look like? Play that out. Cast the vision. Here's how we can protect that time. And so that's the beautiful use of a boundary within our relationship. But again, it's always to keep people, it's always to help people feel safe, so their hearts are open, so that during those sacred moments we can then really connect at that deeper level.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Dr. Greg. Yeah, I think that's so true about the boundaries and how our hearts kind of close up if we see that the other person has kind of like pulled away, and then we naturally kind of pull away too, right? So yeah, Bernard and JoLin, back to you. In your own marriage, how have you guys worked together to set some expectations around screen use? Maybe give us some examples, habits that you have to protect your time as a couple.
Yeah. I'm not sure we have any any extra tips or what, but I guess I only have one expectation, that when I need to talk, you put down your phone. so I mean, like, if I can think of any expectation or boundary set around phone use in our home, is that or at least in our relationship as a couple, as a married couple, is that I think our expectation, or that we have set, is that when someone needs to share something, or someone needs to talk. So yeah, I'm not sure you can hear me, but yeah. But back to the question, I think I mean, the only expectation that I can think of is that in our marriage is that yeah, when I need to talk, okay, then you got to put the phone down.
Bang, 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 bang.
Okay.
It's a good analogy for your life.
I know, right? Exactly.
Bernard's having too much fun. All right, so JoLin, so the phone goes down when the person needs to talk.
Yeah.
So, but I guess there are some times where you're just like, no, I need to finish this first. Do you ever get that? Like, yeah, it's not so easy, I suppose, sometimes to actually put the phone down. But what other examples do you have of how you protect your time? I know you mentioned your date night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, like, if I have to say something, right? Okay, so for me, I don't usually bring problem back home. Okay, I wouldn't label her whatever she says problem. I would say that I don't like to bring bad news back home, right? But if I need to discuss something, I need to check what she thinks about it. And if she's busy, I will ask her, do you have 5 minutes for me? So I respect her that she needs to do her thing as well. And as opposed to I want to trump over her, pun intended. Trump over, I mean, I want to honor
that would come up at some
yeah,
point.
but so for me, I just want to say, hey, do you have 5 minutes for me? So if she say yes, or when she's ready, you let me know. Then I'm because I've already kept it inside me for the past 6 hours from work anyway. Yeah.
So you can wait.
The thing with him is that his work really it revolves around his phone, basically. So his work is always on the phone. So even when he's at home, sometimes he needs to work on something on the phone. So like I used to, like, okay, when I say that, when I need to talk to him, I expect him to put his phone down. But sometimes that's not possible, especially when he's in the middle of work. So we have also come to a conclusion where we need to ask that are you available to talk right now? Like how long more do you need to be on your phone? Or maybe I can also set a certain expectation where I just need 5 minutes of your time. I need to discuss something with you. Is it, so instead of just expecting him to put his phone down immediately, which may end up in another conflict itself. Yeah. So so we have learned on the best way to interrupt each other. Even
yeah. All right. I
Yeah.
think it's about the setting the expectations and
Mhm.
I think honoring each other as well in terms of what you need to do. And I think it goes both ways, right? The person on the phone needs to honor the person that needs the attention, and if something can wait,
Yeah.
then the phone waits, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so we may not always get it right, but I think starting the conversation about boundaries helps. Is the first step. So but I think many couples struggle with how do you even start that conversation without sounding naggy or
Mm.
needy. So, Dr. Greg, with that in mind, can you give us some examples of how we can talk about our spouse about screen habits without sounding like critical or that we are controlling or we just like naggy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like the other day, oftentimes Aaron is also a marriage therapist, and so she often, yeah. So our conversations are very lively. How do you? What does that mean? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And so oftentimes as an introvert, I have used so many words throughout the day
Yeah.
that I love to go when I get home, if no one else is really around, especially, I love to
Mhm.
go and play a video game. I
Mm.
will be honest, I love my video games. And so the other day, she had come home. I just didn't hear her. And so she was there. I was down playing a video game. And when I came up, I was like, whoa, really, where'd you come from? And she goes, what were you doing? I was like, I was just playing a video game.
Mm.
And here's what she did that was so good. I was so impressed. And I wish I could do this. She said to me, you know what? She goes, man, I miss you. I miss our moments of connection.
Wow.
And I'm
Mm.
so glad that you're here now because I'd love to tell you about my day.
Mm.
Versus there have been so many times that how we approach each other is, why are you on your phone? Can you get off your phone? Why do you like your screen better than me? Can when we
Yeah.
approach our spouse with what's missing, with what they're doing that's wrong, with what's going
Mm.
on that I don't like,
Yeah.
it never goes well.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wish I could honestly say that I'm mature enough in those moments
Yeah.
to not defend myself, to not say, me, you're the
Yeah.
one. We were watching a movie last night and you were scrolling through,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Amazon or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And, and so first and foremost, it's recognizing that if I'm going to choose to complain and criticize what's missing or not happening, that
Mm.
I'm probably, that conversation is never going to go well.
Mm. Mm.
Versus what Aaron did, I loved it. I miss you. I love to connect with you.
Mm.
I
Mm.
love to find other ways to connect. And so,
Mhm.
so just notice how we approach those conversations is going to be great because I can't control Aaron. I don't want to control her.
Mhm.
That's not my job. But if I go to her and say, "Man, I miss you," I've just felt I have
Mm.
felt disconnected as of late, and I'd
Mhm.
love to reconnect.
Mm.
Could
Mhm.
could we have a 5 minute little
Mhm.
conversation? Whatever, and kind of like you guys were describing, like
Yeah.
just saying to each other, "Hey, I've here's what's going on. Is this a good time to have that conversation?" The,
Mhm.
yeah, Suli, the other thing that really stands out to me, like working with couples around their physical intimacy.
Mm.
I think one of the most important conversations they can have is, how will we say no? How do we say no? Like, tonight, I'm just not there. Like,
Mm.
that conversation is more important than figuring out, well, how many times and who approached who. Like the key
Yeah.
for a couple is to talk about, how do we say no? In the same way, I've got a point here. Let me take it back.
Mm. Interesting.
How will we bring up
Mm.
that phone time or screen time, whatever, is
Mhm.
frustrating? How will we make that a safe conversation?
Yep.
If all we ever do is accuse, if all we ever do is bicker, if all that ever happens is that we get into a big argument, it's one, it's never going to resolve, and it's going to start to feel so unsafe to have that conversation that we will quit bringing it up. And then we feel ignored. Loneliness sets in. We start living parallel lives. Couple to sit down to say, what is the best way that we can bring up this issue, to say that as of late, I just feel super disconnected. And the more you get clear on how will I make it safe for my wife to bring up that she feels ignored because of my video game or my screen time or whatever, that is such an important conversation. Talk about how will we talk about this issue outside the heated moment. Like, don't go, you're ignoring me. Let's talk about how we're going to talk about that. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But figure out how will we make that safe. I want my wife to feel safe to bring up that issue in particular. Because I tell you what, women in particular, I'm just telling you, hear me. Women have a built-in intuition of how the marriage relationship is going. The research that has been done shows that one of the most important ways to strengthen a marriage is when a husband accepts his wife's influence. So I've learned over the years, 34 years of marriage, I can tell you that my wife's gut and intuition around how our relationship is doing is right on. She may not bring that up, right? But I tell you what, I trust her. So I would encourage the guys, trust her intuition. If she's telling you we're disconnected, lean in, listen, figure that out together, make it safe for her to come up and go, something feels off. Well, what's off? I haven't done any, don't do that. Accept her intuition. I think that's one of the best things we can do.
Yes, I love that, like creating that safe space for conversation to happen. And I think that's such a helpful way to frame conversations with love and also with respect for the other person. So JoLin and Bernard, thinking about your own experience, maybe can you share a moment, example of how you've asked gently for more attention or connection, and how that conversation went for you?
Well, yeah, I guess just to echo Dr. Greg, like how our approach and the tone and the choice of words that we use plays a very huge role. Yeah, so like in our case, after a full day of work, okay, Bernard, when he comes home, he just want to unload and he just want to relax. And his way of relaxing is to turn on his PS5, and he will go on, and that's where he actually, unload and de-stress. While for me, I'm actually waiting for him to come home. And the way I de-stress is to share everything that's happening throughout my day, and to literally to talk. Yeah. For him, he's in his no talking zone. I just want to unwind and just I just want to play my game. Yeah, while I need to talk. So through our years of marriage, I think we have also we have been through many challenges, like through these differences. Yeah. So, I think to echo Dr. Greg is the way we approach. I think we mentioned earlier, to really to get his attention first. Yeah. And after that, to gently tell him that I really needed to talk to you about something. Yeah. Can you can you give me your time? Yeah. So, but I think versus if I were to go in and say that can you please turn off the TV? Why are you always playing game? Why I need to. So why why are you not there for me? If I were to go in with that kind of tone, I'm just inviting trouble.
You're a bit dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And learning to be wise about it also as a partner, and sometimes that she's overwhelmed with it, right? like what Dr. Gray was saying, that how to de-escalate the situation. And
Mm.
then being a partner together, how do we de-escalate it? Because and also create a safe space, and only revisit this issue when both are calm. I think we need to trust each other that we are teammates on this. So if one person collapses, actually everyone collapses. So there's no need to go in over and over again and just stack up the whole thing up. Yeah, double down it. There's no point in it. There's no winning if somebody's hurt in this relationship anyway. Yeah, there's no winning at all. Yeah, even though if you can argue it out. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything? Thanks for sharing. We really have to get a move on our time. Thank you. There's such great things that you guys have been sharing. So one last question for the audience. Have you guys ever discussed screen boundaries with your spouse? Yeah, you can please type yes or no in the comments. And yeah, while you're sharing, yeah, for my husband and I, we've set very simple boundaries such as no phones during meal times, right? No TV on as well during meal times. We sit together as a family and we have our dinner. And also, I think it's sometimes very tempting to put a TV in your bedroom, but we've consciously said no to TVs in the bedroom. So, but of course, do we always respect those boundaries? Maybe not, but I think we try our very best, yeah, to protect those little connections, like what Dr. Greg said, the sacred moments, especially at the dinner table. Yeah. So thanks everyone for sharing. I can see some have talked about it. Yeah, some people say, of course, lah, you have spoken about it, which is good. Thank you. Yeah, so we've talked about awareness and boundaries. So, Dr. Greg, maybe you can share a little bit more about emotional presence. I think maybe some couples already feel like they've already disconnected. So, how can you rebuild closeness once emotional the distance has already set in?
Yeah, I would say the good news is that you don't. It's never going to be about the grand moments. You don't have to go big to rebuild emotional connection. It's not about, oh, we need to go on a holiday. We need to, go on a date night. Like those things are great. But what we're finding is that actually the key to restoring emotional connection is when you start by doing something that's happening countless times every day that most couples ignore. And we call these little bids. JoLin talked about it, like when she comes home, and just like my wife, I mean, she wants to talk about her day. She wants for me to hear her, to listen. And so she might walk in and say, "Oh, I got to tell you about what happened." Well, if I'm on my screen, I might totally ignore that or say, "Whoa, hold on, just in a moment." But what my wife has just done is she has made a quick little bid to connect. Will you listen to my day? There's times where Aaron will come in and say, "Hey, should I wear this pair of shoes or that pair of shoes?" Well, I have zero fashion sense, none. And the fact that she comes to me and asks me what shoe I think she should wear, what I know that she's doing is she's just making a little bid to connect.
Yeah.
When I'm watching my favorite sports team play, and I'll yell out, "Aaron, you got to come see this replay. This is the coolest catch I've ever seen." That's a bid to connect.
Yeah.
We do that as couples hundreds of times throughout the day. Most couples don't notice and pay attention to it, and they certainly don't respond to it. When my youngest daughter, this last night, she walked in, Aaron and I are watching a movie together. We're having a great time. She walks in and she goes, "Oh, I got to tell you about what just happened." Our daughter, Annie, just made a little bid to connect. We could have ignored that. We're watching a movie, to just come back later. We could have turned against it. Why are you telling us this? It's late at night. I don't have time. We're busy. Or we can turn towards that. If you want to restore connection, the simplest way is to start to notice when your husband or wife makes a bid to connect and just respond. These take seconds.
Mm.
And if you're willing to do that, it just creates these little micro moments of connection. Those add up. And I'm
Mm.
telling you, it's not the big stuff. It's those little micro moments that make the
Mm.
biggest difference in our connection.
Right. Thanks. I think if my husband was listening right now, he'd probably be smiling at that because he just said the same thing yesterday. Like when he tries to make a bid for a connection, I totally miss it because to me, it's just I'm answering a question, right? But to him, he's trying to get more out of me. But I'm like on my phone, preparing for my FB live, and I just miss it, So it definitely is so easy to miss, but it's so important. I think it means a lot to him when I make that connection with him.
And
So
it's okay to miss it because they're happening hundreds of times. Just
true.
start noticing, be aware of it, and try to respond more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. And I think, well, if you're on the phones, we won't notice it for sure. All right. So one last questions for Bernard and JoLin before we move to the Q&A because time is running out. I think Bernard and JoLin just wanted you to share a little bit about how you use Instagram to connect as a family. Yeah, how do you get your whole family to do an Instagram video, which you do quite well? We'll show a little clip later on, but please
Oh,
do share with
for us,
us.
it's just like a family project. We felt that if it's something that's fun, I think technology also has its pros. That actually you realize that the 50-year-olds today are not as old as the 50-year-olds when I was younger because you're actually drawing generation closer together with the same topic, right?
Mm,
So it enables more us to be more efficient and all that.
yeah.
So I can be talking about I can be invested into know what the culture of my children are going to because there's access towards it. As opposed to last time we have no way of knowing what this generation is thinking about. But right
Mm,
now there is avenue for us to understand that. So for us, we take it into conversation in our conversation into say, hey, so what's happening in school? So instead of asking simple questions like, oh, did anything happen in school today? No, I will know what the lingo they're talking about, what's the trend they're talking about, and then I can build that connection with our children and also
mm,
input some values into it,
mm,
So that's the part when we look at the interesting about being connected into. For us, we know that there's no way I can totally uh, block certain influences to my children. That's
mm,
for sure, right? But how can I equip them with the right knowledge and the right protection unless I'm involved in it and I also guide them to are aware of it? Because I think from a very young age they knew that our heart is for them, that our
mm,
intention always to love and protect. So if
mm,
they do that already, talking to them about certain issues, about trends and all that, they easily will gain trust as opposed to just say that it's not good, it's not good, it's not good, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I think
mm,
we view it that way. So
mm,
like family content together is something that is fun for us, it's family time and all that.
mm.
Yeah, even if it's just a dance or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Thanks.
it actually creates memories, core memories, even as we do it together. Sometimes when we look back through the videos that we did together when they were much younger,
Yeah.
actually we had a lot of fun just laughing at it or even talking about it. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think like what Bernard said, like in order for us to keep up with the younger generation, we need
Mm,
to be aware of what's also happening right now. So
mm,
what are our children watching or what our children being exposed to when they are not around us in school and all that. So with that knowledge, I feel that and with the help of technology, of course, it helps build our family relationship even closer. Yeah.
mm,
So and of course with that awareness and we know what is right and what is wrong, and
mm,
with that knowledge we can actually educate and equip our children better. So
mm-hmm.
rather than
Being evasive.
like keeping them,
Sheltered.
blocking all these influences and keeping them like,
Sheltered.
so
Mm,
sheltered.
mm-hmm.
I think we our approach is that we rather use that as a teaching opportunity that
Mm,
we teach them that what is right and what is wrong. Yeah,
mm,
rather than keeping them sheltered and when they get exposed elsewhere out of home,
mm.
they may go they may go a different approach. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Well, I always enjoy watching your family IG posts. Um, it's fun to see how you use it to build connection with your kids. So we have a short clip here to share. Let's have a look. Just a very short one.
Oh,
And I'm
Oh, where is it?
feeling
Do we see it?
good.
Here.
yeah. So this was done with JoLin's family and together, and all the children together. So we felt that that will be interesting, as opposed to, because for Chinese culture here, what we do is we do family photos, right? So instead of doing a family photo, we felt that we do this celebratory Chinese New Year
As an
movie
activity.
as an activity for everyone to participate.
Yeah, that's so fun. I mean, it helps that your family, like even your parents, are so supporting.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
They have to do it. It's in my house anyway.
No dinner for you if you don't do it, right?
Sorry, it's my house.
All right. Okay, maybe one last question for Dr. Greg before questions and answers. What hope, Dr. Greg, do you have, or assurance do you have for couples who worry that technology is slowly affecting their marriage? Is
Yeah,
it, can they come back from it? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what's amazing is when we make the focus on how do we create a marriage that feels safe and secure, hearts begin to open up back, in connection just happens. It's what when we're feeling ignored, when we're not feeling connected, we're shut down. That's when we drift. That's when we feel disconnected. But the good news is, all it takes is just little tiny choices to go, we're going to respond to those bids, we're going to set our phone down at these sacred moments, and just be present with each other. Maybe we don't even have to talk about anything. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just we're together.
Mm.
That connection, because that's how relationships work. We're just drawn to connect. That if we eliminate the shut down, closed hearts, then connection just happens. And so there's always amazing hope. It's never too late. Just notice what are some of those sacred moments that we're going to start protecting, and watch how the
Right.
connection returns.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's assuring to remember that while technology may change, commitment, intentionality, and love are still choices that we make every day. Yeah, so digital distractions may compete for our attention, but it should never compete for priority in our relationship. Yeah, so it's been such a good conversation with the three of you. There's so much good insights. If you've learned something tonight, please click on an emoji to show your appreciation for our speakers. Yeah, as we continue on, we know that when it comes to love and screams, every couple will have different challenges. So we love to address them during the next Q&A session. If you've already sent in your questions, thank you. We'll start addressing them soon. While my team takes some time to collate the questions, I would like to share some announcements with you. I have three announcements. First is that to support you further in this topic of love and screens, we've created a free resource page for you. Here you'll find a downloadable 15 days, 15 minutes love and screens challenge for couples, plus a collection of relevant articles and videos you can explore at your own pace. There's also will be a 48-hour only discount code to purchase some of our marriage resources. One of them includes like connection cards where you can ask questions to your spouse. And if you know any other couple who would benefit from today's sharing, please share the replay of the session with them, and you can access all these resources by scanning the QR code on your screen. All right, next up, if you're a couple who wants to learn how to handle conflict better and build a deeper connection, we want to invite you to our upcoming Journey to Us workshop. This workshop will be done over Zoom, and it's an interactive time for couples to gain practical tools from our husband and wife facilitators, and you'll discover what truly helps love last. So simply scan the QR code on your screen to find out more and register today. Spaces are limited, so I'll be attending with my husband, so I hope to see you there. Finally, Please stay connected with us by joining our WhatsApp channel, where you receive updates on our latest events, resources, and family tips. And when you join, don't forget to unmute notifications so you won't miss out on what's coming up. So please scan the QR code to subscribe. All right, that's it for our short advertisement. Let's invite our speakers back on, and we're going to ask some questions that you've asked. Let's see. Let's have our first question. When our jobs require us to be on screens a lot and our kids copy what we do, how can we model healthy screen habits without seeming inconsistent or hypocritical? Maybe Dr. Greg can answer this question. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's the conversations that we have with our kids, talking about the realities of our job, the realities of our responsibilities, and then talking to them about having moments to where, look, mom and dad, we're going to be intentional to set our phones apart. Like when we're at the dinner table, right before bed, we're not going to keep our phone next to the side of our bed. And so I think the more that we can talk, the more we can talk about the benefits of learning this to be still. Boredom is okay. It's not the end of the world, and that's hard for me. Like that's probably what I've poorly modeled to my kids, is that I always have to be distracted by something because it's not okay to be bored. It's not okay just to be silent and still. And just talk to them about the importance of when I'm just still for a moment, then I'm aware of what's going on with me, and I'm aware of what's going on with my wife and with you guys. And there's benefit to that. And so I think the more that we can talk about it, certainly they're going to watch, and they're going to notice if we're not doing that. So, I mean, certainly we want to be consistent, but I think those are the kinds of conversations that we want to have, to where we make it safe to talk about phone time, not just saying you need to be off your phone, but let's talk about the why behind that.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Greg. Bernard, JoLin, any experience on your side with your young ones?
Yeah, I think our children knows that when we're on our phone is because it is our phone and not theirs for now, right? But I felt that I think a more prevalent question is that if my child is wanting, like what Dr. Greg is saying, that they want attention with them, right? So I think it's also, while it is okay to watch a screen, I think it's also wise to engage that time to engage with the children. Because honestly, my child is only 8 and 11 right now, right? 9 and 11 right now. There'll be times when they go to a certain age whereby they don't want to engage with you anymore. You know what I'm saying? They want to do their own thing anymore. So I think that's a reminder for myself that, if my child want to engage with me, I want to capture that moment, and thank God they want to engage with me. They could have easily chose to not want to engage with me, and ideally, I hope and I pray that doesn't ever happen, right? So I think that treat it as a blessing that your child wants to engage with you, because it'll come to a time that maybe that little boy will not be a boy anymore when he turns to a man. He doesn't do that anymore. Those moments as well. Yeah.
Right.
I think what I appreciate about Bernard is that while we use screen a lot, I mean, we can't deny that screen is a big part of our daily life. But sometimes, because our kids sometimes they like to hop over and they like to look at what we are looking. So, instead of getting very absorbed into the phone, I always see that sometimes Bernard will get them engaged together, and also even get them involved in whatever that he's looking at. It could be on football, it could be on politics even, or even the current issues happening, world issues, world issues. So sometimes even with that, I see that it become a topic, a conversation topic, and he even use it to even educate the kids. So so sometimes about wars, there's it is happening, like they will ask that why are there killings of children in Gaza?
Right.
So because so as he watches, as he follow up on news on even America, on what's happening in America, so he would use that opportunity to even talk to the kids and educate the kids on what's happening in the world. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that is something that I see that I really appreciate about Bernard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, it shows that technology can be used in a good way. Yeah. Thanks, Cole, for the question. Okay, we have the next question. All right, from Lo. What if your spouse says screen scrolling time is his or her important, necessary me time before being able to connect with you? All right, Dr. Greg?
Yeah, I mean that's another good way that screen time can be helpful is that it can help someone individually relax if they just need some downtime, me time. It's recognizing why I'm taking me time is not to disconnect, it's to recharge. So the
Mm,
question is, does your phone help you, or screen time, does playing a video game, does that help me to recharge when I come home at night so that I'm now filled back up? I have more energy, I have more availability then for my wife and for my kids.
mm,
If I'm saying no, I'm playing a video game to recharge, but my wife and kids don't benefit that
mm,
time that I take, then that's not the good use of me time.
mm,
Self-care is all about doing something so that I have more to give out. It's recognizing at the end of the day I've poured out, I need to recharge. That's
mhm,
healthy. But the
mhm.
question always has to be, does my wife, do my kids benefit
Benefit.
from that me time?
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, that's why it's a great question to ask. I'll ask my wife, hey, when I disconnect to play a video game or to watch a funny comedy, laughter, that recharges me.
Mm,
Do you benefit from that?
yeah.
Or does it feel like I don't ever come back? And so I'm just sort of connected.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that's the case, I would challenge the individual. You need to take a look at then of what you're doing to take care of yourself, because the goal is always to recharge, to give out, and to have more. We can't give what we don't have. So do
Mm,
what you need to do to get filled, but make sure then that you're
you come back.
out.
Yeah, that's so helpful to know. Yeah, and then that helpful conversation of how to do that is important. Yeah. So thanks, Lo, for the question. We have two more questions, and from Casey. In your opinion, do you think married couples should have full access to each other's phones? All right, Bernard and JoLin, maybe you can share if you have access to each other's phones.
Yeah, we do. I mean, like she does.
Yeah. So I mean, we have full access to each other's phone. Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't even remember your password.
That's not my
It's like
fault.
that's your problem.
Yeah. So I remember his password. Yeah. But he tends to forget all my passwords. So well.
Yeah. So I mean, like from being in the media industry and all that, right? So in our dating days, really, I already wanted to give her assurance. So for me, it was also I always feel that a fall always happens before pride,
Mm,
right? So I don't want to be prideful and say that I will never fall.
mm,
But because I treasure this relationship so much that I do not want it to fall, and hence I open up for myself to be audited anytime that she wants.
mm,
I felt that was one way of assuring her, but at the same time, also is a humbling experience to be warning myself that, hey, don't mess around. You know what I'm saying? So because we treasure this, so for me, it's never a problem. I feel that for the benefit of our relationship, that I do not fall. I rather have someone that I really trust to come in and check on me. So that's the way I see it. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Because of time, we move to our last question. And the question is, am I not seeing it? Oh, there you go. From DT, if both spouses are always scrolling but no one complains, is it still unhealthy? Okay, maybe this one for Dr. Greg. It's your experience. Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to come up with the right label. I would just challenge a couple to talk about their connection, their especially their emotional connection. If all we ever do is scroll, but no one's unhappy because we both like to do it, that doesn't make it good for our relationship. In a relationship, we have to have moments to where we are feeling deeply seen and deeply known. Like, I would say one of the greatest things that we can do as a couple is to have a little check-in at some point during the day. In other words, we're not talking logistics. We're talking about, tell me, how are you doing? I want a glimpse into your inner life. How are you feeling? What's stressing you out? What are you dreaming about? What are you hoping for? How are your relationships going? A marriage is dependent upon that sort of connection. Otherwise, we lose sight. Otherwise, I would challenge a couple who's saying, "Yeah, we both scroll and we're good." Like, why be married?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, this is my best friend because this is the one person that can truly see me and I can truly see her. And that requires that level of connection, which takes some time.
Yeah.
And so, again, that's why without the judgment part of it, is it healthy or not? I would just say, man, I love being married to my best friend. And that requires that I get to see into her inner life and she gets to see into my inner life. I love that. And I want to fight for that and protect those. That requires some conversation throughout the day to reach that place.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that goes back to, like you said, why do we get married in the first place, right? Like, because we love the person. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for all the questions from the FB audience. What we may not have been able to answer all your questions, but I hope that the conversation has given you some practical tools, some encouragement to continue this discussion at home. Because I think I see this just as the beginning for couples. You know, perhaps you see there are some issues in your relationship that you can help. This conversation can help you. So, on behalf of Focus on the Family Malaysia, a big thank you to Dr. Greg, Bernard, and JoLin for sharing your wisdom tonight. Personally, I've learned so much. Truly appreciate your presence with us here tonight. So, yeah, as we close, allow me to close with this simple thought. Marriage is not strengthened by perfection, but is strengthened by presence. So, in a world constantly competing for our attention, choosing to turn towards our spouse instead of towards the screen is a small but powerful act of love. Technology will keep on evolving, but the deepest needs in marriage remain the same. As Dr. Greg has shared, we want to feel seen, heard, valued, and emotionally safe. So sometimes protecting your marriage is as simple as putting down your phone a little earlier, finishing a conversation before replying to a message, or choosing to talk instead of scroll. All these small choices made consistently build strong marriages. So thank you everyone for being with us tonight. I hope everyone leaves here feeling encouraged and hopeful, not shamed or condemned. So have a wonderful night. We hope to see you again. Bye.